Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day or night, depending on where you are when you're watching this, when you're listening to this. It's nighttime for me here. It's been a very quiet, mellow evening and fun time to read some tarot cards. So, this will be your weekly reading for the week of August 10th through the 16th. During that time, we will have a waning gibbous moon. And a waning gibbous is a really good time of self-reflection and rebirth. Good time to make positive changes, get rid of negative thinking, bad habits, that sort of thing, and just kind of work towards your goals and aspirations and get things done. We're coming off of that, heightened kind of crazy full moon energy. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter this week, Cancer. So, of course, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading, the energy is gaining momentum. And I feel like I'm also being called to grab a second card for you. Meditate and contemplate. So, we've got the energy is gaining momentum, meditate and contemplate. Let's see what the Cancer Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, I would like to say that my weekly reminder this week is that you watch for synchronistic things. I feel like I got something in my eye. Watch the world around you for synchronicities this week. Just try to pay a little bit more attention. If you're someone that sees synchronicities, it's almost like once you start seeing those things, it's very hard to not see them. It's almost like a separate little language that the universe is speaking just to you. Very interesting. I remember I've seen synchronistic things for a long time. It's hard for me to not see see things in that way. But look around, and if there's an animal, maybe there's an animal that you don't see all the time, and that gets in front of you. And what I do with that is I think of a situation in my life where maybe I'm needing a little help or a little bit of guidance. And if I see an animal that's not one that I normally see, I will look up the attributes of that animal and try to put those attributes towards the situation that I'm working on currently. So that's kind of how I use that information that comes into me. But this could come in the way of, like I said, animals. This could be repeating numbers where you're having to look up the angel numbers, and that might be something that's significant to you. It could be a song that you overhear or a conversation that you overhear. There's just so many different ways in which the universe might speak to you. So that's just my weekly reminders that you watch for those synchronicities. Those are your clues and breadcrumbs that help you on your unique path and kind of show you clarity. So that is just my weekly reminder. I will stop babbling now, Cancer, and let's get to this reading. So, Cancer, August 10th through 16. The energy is gaining momentum. Meditate and contemplate. Your present energy is the Page of Pentacles. So, may have some sort of new path here in the way of the material world. This could be a new path at work. This could be a new job for some of you. This could be a new position within an existing job that you have. This could be something like a side gig, something new that's going to just bring you money. This could be just so many different things, but something new is really what it is. Something new that you're kind of maybe exploring or getting into for financial or material gain. Your current situation is the Five of Cups. So maybe you're feeling a little upset about something, and that's kind of causing you to want to, maybe you're upset at your current job. Maybe you're not happy there. And so, you're thinking about, how can I change this? If you've got that frustration going on. And again, you look for the synchronicities. If you're looking for some sort of change, the universe is going to kind of nudge you in certain directions. So make sure that you are open to those messages and paying attention to that. It could be why you're at a tarot reading right now. It could be like, I just got to change this job situation, and you're just kind of seeking out information wherever you can find it. But yeah, it looks like you're not, maybe you're just not happy there. You're not feeling like you're emotionally fulfilled with your work. You're just kind of feeling that drudgery of just, oh, got to get up and go to this place every day and and you want to do something that is a little bit more fulfilling. So let's see where this reading goes. At the root of your current situation is, some dissatisfaction again. So we've got the 5 and the 4. I mean, it just dissatisfaction leads to just more, almost just grief and sadness where you're just dissatisfied. So, if you are, only you can make this kind of changes in your life. And if cancers, you guys tend to be very passionate about the things that you do. So if you're in some situation where you're just not feeling passionate, and it could be burnout, maybe you just need a little bit of a break. Sometimes a vacation, a little break from your everyday reality, doing things a little bit differently, can just kind of change things a little bit. But so we'll see as this comes out what's going on here at the in your recent past. Is, yeah, maybe some sort of push to an ending, that you've had some sort of ending, and it's maybe just causing you to look around. Whatever this ending might be, it could just be that your life is changing in a way that makes you think, I need to just make a change. It's just time for a change here. So, again, it seems to be maybe something work related or material related. This could also be, if this is not related to your job, this might be related to where you live. You might just be like, you know what, it's time for a change. I need a change of scenery. For some of you, this might be, moving across the country. For some of you, it might just be moving to the next town, or it might, so it might be moving from one apartment to another, or selling a house and moving to a different place. So, if you're just feeling like you're in some sort of drudgery, and you need a change in your routine, it does look like it's something around you that's material or monetary. What is on your mind this week is the Justice card. So, this is coming to some sort of truth and conclusion about something. So, this is you, seeking out equilibrium. This could be, just kind of seeking out some sort of balance or something in your life, and also just considering things, just considering the things around you. What is your truth, as you want to get to a place of just where you feel like your life is in order, where you don't have this grief around you. There could just be something that you need to just change, but this is about order. This is about fairness. This is about, again, just equilibrium, and feeling like you're in balance, right, with that, with these scales, right? But it's about truth, and that's on your mind. Is maybe what is your truth, and you're seeking that out. It could be, again, about a job, or where you're living, or some environmental thing that's like, what is the truth, and what is it that I want? If you're coming to some sort of ending, you just might be at that decision point, that apex of thinking, I need to make a change. What is that change going to be? In what is just ahead of you this week is the Queen of Cups. So you're going to do this in a very emotionally balanced way. I don't feel like you've got the crazies and you're making crazy decisions. I feel like this is very measured. Your overall cards here, where the energy is gaining momentum, and meditate and contemplate. So I feel like this is very emotionally balanced. Whatever these decisions are that you're making, you're not making them quickly. In fact, you may not even make them this week, but it's on your mind. So you are kind of meditating, contemplating, or thinking, there's some change needs to happen, and you might just be starting to explore those avenues to see what that change might be for you. In your advice position is the Knight of Wands. So, you know, maybe this is saying, if you are kind of moving slow, this Knight of Wands is saying maybe pick up the pace a little bit. That maybe, this is a card of action. And, when it comes to, wands, this is it's not the craziest of it's not the quickest of our horses here when it comes to the knights, but it is kind of picking up the pace, where the Knight of Cups is kind of a slow, very measured pace moving, but and swords is kind of the crazy one, but wands is kind of just a nice, like, pick up the pace a little bit. So you might need to really think about what those decisions are, and maybe start making some of them a little quicker than you're even comfortable doing. I mean, I know, as a Cancer, you might be a little bit slow to change things, and you're just kind of getting, like, you'll get to where it's like, well, it's okay. It's okay with the way things are, and you kind of rationalize that in your head. But this, to me, is the universe saying, let's pick up the pace a little bit. You can make those changes, and you need to just have the confidence that you can take a big breath and make a pretty decent sized change in your life, and it's all going to be okay, right? Let's see what is beyond your control this week. Is, yeah, moving ahead to the future with future thoughts, the ideas that you're moving into something where, there's, and it is in this calm water. Look at this calm, I was talking about how calm everything feels, and it does with this Queen of Cups. it feels like you're being very, very super measured in whatever these changes are for you. And of course, tarot is a template. So for different cancers, this could mean different things or be in different areas of your life. But it seems like the change needs to happen. This change needs to happen. You might be just a little reticent to do that, but beyond your control is that you're thinking about the future. You've got these thoughts in front of you, these thoughts and ideas of how to change things and how to make your life be better, how you want to make those kind of changes. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid is like is the Magician. Wow, shocker. Okay, so is it your secret desire to make a choice here, or are you trying to avoid it? And I almost lean towards, usually I let you guys answer this question. This is your big question of the week. I feel like you're kind of trying to avoid this. I just get this, again, this feeling of like everything's very measured and whatever. So, whatever it is that you need to make a change on, you need to move a little bit quicker and don't be afraid. You've got the Magician here asking you, in what area do you want to change your life? Do you want more in the emotional realm? Do you want more money? Do you want more material things? Do you want more passion with this wand, or do you want more, fire and excitement in the way you communicate? So you need to make those decisions on what areas of your life that you are trying to make changes. It's that, and we're at that time again with this waning gibbous. This is a time of self-reflection. It's time to really just kind of look around, evaluate things. And, we all need to do this from time to time with different things. I do this a lot where I evaluate, how am I spending my time every day? And is it really, am I doing things that I need to be doing? Am I wasting time somewhere? Is there something I should be doing for that's better, for myself, for my family? So we all need to take that time to evaluate things. And I feel like you're just kind of at that point where this might be something even a little bit bigger. Again, it might be job related, home related. It's something in your material world that you're just really taking a deeper look at. But here's the Magician, and you need to ask yourself, is it your secret desire to make these changes, or are you trying to avoid those changes? So you definitely have the power to change anything that you want. What is your outcome card? Look. Look at those cups now. Okay. So when you do make these changes and when you do make these decisions, this is your ultimate happiness. This is happy family, happy life. It's just joy, and your cups are full, and it's just a really good place to be. But you have to make this decision, like I said, with this Magician, to get out of this funk here, to get out of this 5 of Cups and the 4 of Cups here as well, to get to this place of happiness. I think it's just about, your evaluation to think differently, to move differently into the future. And even though it's very measured, I don't think you're going to do anything super quickly. You do need to pick up the pace just a little bit. Oh, there comes my kitty. What is hidden from you this week is some sort of celebration. And maybe that comes in next week after you make these sorts of changes. Kitty, I'm in here. My cat likes to look for me. Sometimes he's like, "Where are you?" Anyway, this is hidden from you this week. So this may come next week. This may be a little bit more celebratory as you move into next week. So here, kitty. Psst, 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 I'm right here. So funny. He's an older cat, and he's started doing this. He looks for us in the house like we've just left him. We don't. Come here. Psst, 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 psst. I don't think he knows that I'm in here. Okay, let's continue on here, and I'll get to the cat. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Kitty, psst, 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 psst. I'm right here. Look, here I am. Were you looking for me? Hi. He's probably like, yeah, I'm looking for you. I'm out of food. I'll feed you. All right, Soul Oracle deck, and then I'll get to this kitty. Don't push the envelope. I mean, I feel like that's kind of where you are. I feel like you're in a place where you're not pushing the envelope. Again, we've got this Knight of Wands, but maybe I'm reading that wrong. Maybe this Knight of Wands is about at least getting on making those or coming up with those ideas. Maybe you're just not going to make changes, and come back next week and we'll see if some of those changes start to happen and what you do to get to this ultimate happiness. But I think that is your big question this week, is how and what do you need to change? And it might take some time to do it. Changes don't happen overnight. Again, this overall card with the energy of this is gaining momentum. You're going to meditate and contemplate and really, I say pull out a piece of paper, make a list. What things do you want to change to make your day to day that much better? So let's see what Cancer needs to do in the way of self care for this week. The self care wisdom cards. Self care for Cancer. All right. This card here, which is called Listen. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. So maybe you need to listen to someone around you, or maybe you need to be listened to as well. So you might want to seek out someone. You've got a family member here, a friend that you can talk to about how you're feeling and, kind of bounce those things off of. And that's really good advice. I think I would do that if I were you. So, Cancer, I really appreciate your time here with me today. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what sort of things are you a little not satisfied with that you would like to change and move into so that you're sitting in your ultimate happiness here with this 10 of cups. Are there things at your job or, maybe things just within your material world, your living situation? It may just be sprucing up a room, some decorating thing that just makes you feel better about your day-to-day life, a little spruce up in your kitchen, maybe. So, oh, kitty, no scratchies. Anyway, I do post weekly, so come back next week and we'll see if this situation continues or if it's a completely new energy here for you next week. Also, if you like my channel or my reading, please like and subscribe. If you like my reading style is what I meant to say, because that really helps my channel, kind of boosts me in the algorithm, and I would really appreciate that as a newer YouTuber. I would appreciate that so much. So once again, thank you for being here, and if you do add my channel, it'll help you find me next week. So come back and we'll see what this energy turns into. So thanks so much, Cancer. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.